Okay.
But I feel like so when I got off stage from the Rising Phoenix,
Yeah.
we always do this. We sit down and we look at the pictures and we start to get an inventory of what we want to change. So we knew that I wanted to come in a little bit tighter and I talked to a couple of the judges. I talked to Alina and Linda, come in a little bit tighter for the Olympia because, I wanted to make sure that the clarity, especially in my legs, were there. The upper body's usually not a problem, but making sure that the clarity in the legs, specifically the quads, is there. And if we can sharpen up the hamstrings, even better. And come in a little bit fuller. So that usually for me, now we know, comes as I get tighter with the right carbohydrate load, I would automatically come in fuller.
Okay.
And that's exactly what we did. So Olympia pictures, I did a side-by-side between the Rising Phoenix and Olympia pictures. I mean, we nailed it.
You prefer the look you brought to the Olympia?
Tighter, yeah, absolutely, and much more clarity.
Yeah. I just, the one thing I was looking at your Instagram yesterday, I was thinking you've got and I was watching the live stream back on the laptop, and you've got a very, very polished look. It's very like your skin tone, your tanning, even like you were flashing your bracelet backstage, and and your hair. You look really well. Like there was a lot of thought that went into not just your condition or your fullness. It was the top to toe package, and I think that's why I think you're a really good representative for the Olympia title, because you're very feminine looking. You've got a badass physique. Your conditioning is it's kind of like Sarah Villegas, really, that kind of level of conditioning, but you still look so, you don't look drawn or hard in the face. You look like you're about to keel over, you look healthy. It was a beautiful look. That's the best way to describe it.
Yeah, in my mind, I always would tell Sydney, this is a pageant with muscles.
Yeah.
And that's the way I wanted to treat it. And I have a look, again, with the cheerleading and gymnastics background, it wasn't a far stretch, but I wanted to make sure I added just the extra little feminine touches that, I knew I always had. I just needed to have her help me pull them out and refine them and make sure that it looks good as we move through the show. So, and it was great. She also gave me some great advice with helping me to stay calm on stage. She said, just treat it like any other
stay
show.
Calm.
You've done shows, just treat it like any other show. And I said, okay, I'm gonna remember that. And it worked. I mean, it just worked because when the moment I started to get nervous, I was like, okay, just treat it like any other show.
Yeah.
This is exactly what you're supposed to do. You've done everything you were supposed to do. And it just worked. So thank you so much, Sid.
I loved watching when you and Margie were called to the center, and Margie had that swag walk. She's got that kind of cool walk, and and you just the two of you. It was a real captivating moment seeing and you were just your eyes closed, and I said, and now the new Miss Olympia. And I was like, yeah, it's so cool because both of you, both fantastic representatives of female bodybuilding muscle, whatever you want to call it. It's. You're both really good examples. And obviously Hella and Irene at 55 years old looking so sensational. And, at Asha Hadley in 7th, who looked amazing coming over for women's physique. Mela Ash. Yeah. What a stunning examples of female bodybuilding. It was such a nice way to see it come back.
I'm so glad that they came over. I tell them this a lot, and they're probably like, okay, stop telling me this. But I really am. I'm so glad that they came over because they should also have the opportunity to be where they belong.
Yeah.
Those girls carry some great muscle. They've got great structure. I told Mela, I said, girl, with what you brought even this year, she is definitely, she's a force.
Did you see the improvements she'd made from when she won the New York Pro? She put some real lat spread pictures. I was like, that's only in a few months. So imagine with a full year of like you have in this last year with no restrictions, and you can train and eat differently and prep differently. You can go in next year even more kind of how you want to look.
Exactly. And I told her, I'm going to be excited to grace the stage with her.
That's good. It's nice. Good.
She's got that itty bitty little waist.
Yeah.
So, all right, Mela, I see you, girl.
It's nice to see. Also, always like to say, I've always noticed this actually with the female bodybuilders. They very much do support each other. They do connect. They do communicate. And I could see by the way you all interact on stage and on social media, there's a real, I think especially when you were kind of away from those few years when female body was away from the Olympia, the other girls just carried on. And I feel like there's a real kind of camaraderie there that maybe you don't see in some of the other categories.
Absolutely. And I think that when I look at those girls, especially, Irene,
Yeah.
she became, a very vocal advocate. With her movie that came out last year, I
Yes.
wasn't able to go to the showing that they had for free, but I bought it on the. I think she sent me the Vimeo link. She has truly been one to say, what you did is not right.
Mm.
It was disrespectful to the women who have put so much into it.
Mm.
When you look at Hele, she's been competing since she was 17 years old, or
It's
somewhere
amazing.
along those lines.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember she said she had a dream of going to an Olympia since she was like 17 years old. But these girls have been involved in the sport for much longer than I've been, and it was not okay. It was not okay what they did. So I think that the women all decided that, you know what, if we aren't here for each other, then that's really going to be the travesty. So we have to make sure that, we treat each other kind. Yes, it's a competition, but I mean, I keep in touch with these girls, and everybody's not, so buddy, but that's okay. That's their call, right? But Wings of Strength still has many of us who are ambassadors to come to the shows. We work the booths. We engage with fans. So, you still have to work with each other. So we have to make sure that we create an environment, number one, that the atmosphere is comfortable for everybody, and that we keep the main thing.